Hi everybody, I'm Chef Sandy. I am the chef aboard a 62-foot luxury sailing catamaran that sails in the Caribbean Virgin Islands, in St. Martin, St. Bart's, even the Bahamas, and summers we're in New England. Today I'm here and I'm going to be preparing for you tuna two ways, because being on a yacht, a lot of times my guests will catch tuna as a fresh catch and it's beautiful. You can't get it any fresher. And so they love to have it prepared right then and there for them. So the first thing we're going to be doing is to prepare a rice dish that will go with our seared tuna. So this is a coconut kaffir lime leaf rice, and I'm going to be preparing it in a rice cooker. So I'm going to take 2 scoops of, for my rice cooker's measuring cup, 2 scoops of rice. And then for those of you who have a rice cooker, you'll know what I mean. There are indications in your rice cooker bowl how much liquid to put in. At first I didn't really trust the process, but this thing is fabulous, and if you don't have a rice cooker, I highly recommend one. So I put in 2 scoops, so now I'm going to fill the line of the liquid line of the 2 scoop line, partly with coconut milk, and then partly with a little bit of water. So it's a combination, about 50-50 of each one, and I'm just going to fill to that number 2 mark. All right, there we are. Now, the next thing is a beautiful thing I'm going to add in. These are my kaffir lime leaves. A kaffir lime is a very special lime. It comes from Asia. It's really wrinkly when you see the whole fruit. I've actually only seen the real fruit one time, but these are the leaves from that plant. They're very pungent and they smell wonderful. So I like a little bit lime forward. So I'm gonna put 4 lime leaves. I'm actually gonna throw in a 5th one just because I'm in a spicy mood today. All right, so I'm just gonna put these together. I'm gonna give it a little bit of a stir and then just put this in my rice cooker to cook. The rice cooker is really magical. It knows exactly what it needs to do. It takes all the questions out of how long should the rice be on. So all we do is we put it in. I have it plugged in already. I'm just gonna put the lid on and turn it on to cook, and it's gonna do all the work for us. Okay, so the next thing we're going to be doing while that works, we're going to be doing an ahi tuna poke. So I have a beautiful piece of ahi here. This is fresh, it's phenomenal. All we need to do is we're going to chop this up probably in about a 1/2 inch dice. I like my pieces to be, nice and meaty. And then we'll add the other components. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to tell you why I'm wearing my captain's bars today. Being the chef on the yacht is part of my responsibility, but I am also a 100-ton U.S. Coast Guard Master Captain. So I have responsibilities regarding boat handling, safety of guests, and that's one of the other things I do aboard. So it's really exciting. It's definitely a different kind of take on chefing because you have to do more than just the cooking, and I love it. All right, so we have our tuna all prepared, and then I'm going to add some other components. So first thing we'll add is, this is a seaweed. It's a Hawaiian seaweed. It's called ogo. This is kind of for a more adventurous palate. It's beautiful. I don't always use it, kind of depending on the palate of the guests I'm cooking for, but when you prepare it, you have to just soak it in a little bit of water. It comes dried, and so now it's ready to use, and I have it in my bowl. A little bit of green onion, scallions. Those are beautiful, beautiful color with that. All right, then I will add a little bit of Vidalia onion. Now here, it's important to use Vidalia onion because it's not too harsh, it's a little bit sweet, and it just really gives you a nice crunch element. Next, I have some sesame oil, and I'll just be adding a little bit of that to give it a little sesame tang, followed by some soy sauce. And I actually added a few sesame seeds into my soy sauce just because they're pretty. Next, I have crushed red pepper and coarse salt. Crushed red pepper, you can add as much as you like depending on your level of spiciness. I kind of like it spicy, so I'll be adding a good bit, and a bit of a coarse sea salt, okay? And then the next thing is agave nectar. Now this just gives it a little sweetness, not overbearing. I'm just gonna put a drop in, but it just helps to balance out all the other flavors. And finally, some beautiful avocado. This is a Hass avocado, and those are from Mexico. That's kind of, it's not the great big one that you see in the market. That's from Florida. And those are nice, but my favorite is the Hass. So I'm just gonna take this and give it a little stir around. And this will be a beautiful poke. Oh my gosh, it looks fabulous already. Maybe I'll add a little more avocado because it just goes so well with this. And I like that. You can also add cucumber if you like, but I usually don't. I just like to keep it really focused on the tuna. All right, so there's our poke. So next we're going to move to doing our seared ahi tuna. and then we'll put everything together. All right, so next we're going to be preparing a seared tuxedo tuna. So we have our ahi right here, and I'm just going to grab these beautiful pieces of fish. First thing we're going to do is salt and pepper, just a little bit. Ultimately, we're going to coat these with sesame seeds, so we don't want to have too much salt and pepper, but just to give it a little bit of baseline seasoning, both sides. And then we'll do our sesame seed. I first was introduced to doing the tuna this way, or the first time I saw it in person was a friend who does deep sea fishing in the Atlantic Canyon. And they take their boats out at night and they fish and they all drift, so nobody's on anchor, and it's 3,000 feet deep or more. So, but everybody's drifting, which is kind of an interesting concept for a boat person. And so, but they catch the most beautiful tuna, and so he prepared this for us, my friend Chris. So we're just going to coat the tuna with our sesame seeds. I like to use black and white sesame seeds, but you could certainly use either or. And then we're going to get our pan up to a pretty good heat, and we'll put in a little bit of flavor neutral oil. This is vegetable oil, and I'm just going to let that get hot. And then we'll put our tuna in. It's very important not to cook this for too long, and depending on your cooktop, it's probably between 30 seconds maybe to 60 seconds per side. So this cooks really quickly, and once it's cooked, we're going to be serving that with a little bit of soy sauce and wasabi for those who like to dip their tuna in the soy sauce and wasabi. And then after that, we will make a little Asian-style slaw to go along, okay? So our pan is getting there. It's not quite hot yet, so I'm just gonna go ahead and move into the slaw real quick, all right? So I'm just gonna grab a mixing bowl, and into this bowl, I'm going to put a little bit of purple cabbage. You can either cut this real fine with a knife, or you can use a mandolin. I prefer to use a mandolin, so just be careful of your fingers because it's real sharp. We'll do a little bit of regular green cabbage. Then we'll have some carrot, and you can really put whatever you like in here. It's just very easy going. A little cilantro is always nice. Let's see how our pan's doing. It's coming up to temp. A couple seconds longer. Okay, let's see. We have this is a great one, sunflower seed, right? So that's a lot of a nice little crunch to put in there. Okay, then I'll make a dressing by just taking a little bit of ginger and garlic, some sesame oil. That's got a great flavor profile. About a tablespoon of rice vinegar, about a teaspoon of agave nectar, again, not to make it sweet, but just to balance out the acidity of that vinegar. And then just a touch of white miso paste. So we'll just maybe half a teaspoon. It's pretty pungent and salty. So we'll just whisk these guys together real quick and then pour them over our greens. And by then, I think our pan should be ready. All right, so let's do that. And just toss these around a little bit. This is just a beautiful salad that's crunchy with those nuts that makes it extra crunchy. The cabbage is nice and fresh, so that gives it also a really nice texture, and it is so pretty with all the colors. All right, so our slaw is pretty much ready. Let's go ahead and put our tuna in. And you'll always hear me say it, we don't want to overcrowd the pan, okay? So we'll put them in slowly. I'll just probably let the pan come up to temp with that one in it, and then we'll put our second one in. All right, so probably about 30 to 60 seconds per side, and then that will just give that tuna just a sear on the outside. The inside will be really nice and bright pink, and then each side will just be toasted. Those sesame seeds will toast up for us. Experience the wonder of a holiday at sea in the Virgin Islands or New England on your very own private yacht. You'll experience a fantasy-filled week of white sand beaches, amazing sunsets, gourmet meals, and the best time you can possibly imagine. Make memories with your friends and family that you will never forget. Email us at info@sailthedream.com or visit www.sailthedream.com for more details. Have you ever said, "I'll take that dream vacation someday"? Well, at Cool Cat Charters, someday is now. We offer all-inclusive private yacht charters at every price point, for the more budget-minded traveler up to a full luxury experience. Come celebrate your special occasion or just schedule a family getaway in the gorgeous Caribbean islands. Sail the beautiful islands of the Caribbean and see why so many people just can't get enough. Visit coolcatcharters.com to see a listing of our featured yachts or contact us to learn more about the many other sailing and motor yachts available for charter in the islands. Okay, so all of our components are ready. Our rice is just finished in the rice cooker, so I'm gonna go grab that. The pot of the rice cooker is hot, so make sure you wear a glove or a mitt. Bring it over. You can see my kaffir lime leaves on top. So we'll just fluff this rice. It smells amazing. And I do want to mention that these lime leaves, I actually dehydrated myself. I was searching for the lime leaves in the market, in an Asian market, and I had always purchased them dried, and they told me they were in the fresh produce section, and I said, no, the kaffir lime leaves, and they said, yeah, the produce. So I went and I found them, and they were gorgeous, and so they were fresh, so I wanted to preserve them, so I dehydrated them, and here they are now. So we're ready to plate. We have our gorgeous seared tuna. You can see how pink that is right in the middle. I like mine very lightly seared, just like this. If you like it a little bit cooked a little bit more through, you're more than welcome to do that. We have our slaw, we have our ahi poke, and now I'm just going to be plating a little bit of this gorgeous kaffir lime leaf rice right next to our ahi. And that's it, you guys. Tuna 2 ways, fresh from the sea. On my charter yacht, this is the kind of thing we would have for a lunch, and it's just gorgeous. Thank you so much for joining me today. I thoroughly enjoyed preparing this for everyone. I would love to see you aboard my yacht, Yacht La Rev, and I would love to thank my sponsor, SailTheDream.com, providing luxury charter vacations, as well as CoolCatCharters.com, providing vacations for anyone from the budget-minded up to the luxury mega yacht experience. Thanks again for joining me today.